What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we are going to be jumping into Batman issue number 110. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on in this line since picking up with the Infinite Frontier. And be sure to stay all the way through to the end of the video so you're not missing any of the Ghostmaker. Now, this story is going to be picking us up where we last left off, with Batman going against Peacekeeper number 1. This is the beginning to all of Future State. This is where it all starts. This issue, this night. This is when the Magistrate is born. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up, and Batman right now, he is getting his butt handed to him by Peacekeeper. And as these two have been dueling it out for quite some time now, there was an explosion at City Hall. And this was all a ploy by Simon Saint. He did this so he could initiate his Magistrate program. Everybody right now is terrified. They had the attack on Arkham just recently, believing it to be Joker, maybe even the Scarecrow. And with little scarecrows popping up all over the city, right now everybody is terrified. And now we have an explosion at City Hall, which makes everybody even more on edge. Everybody is putting so much pressure on the mayor. He feels like he has no other choice but then to activate the Peacekeepers, to activate Magistrate, to let Simon Saint have what he wants finally. Now, the Magistrates, they're only being activated so they can hunt down whoever bombed this city. And though Batman may be a concern, Simon Saint assures the mayor that if Batman gets in the way, the Peacekeepers are going to take him down. Little does the mayor know that Simon Saint has already sent Peacekeeper after Batman. And right now we have the news going absolutely crazy with as many hysteria stories as you can possibly think of. The media is doing nothing more than getting everybody up into a frenzy, scaring people even more. And that has been the whole goal this entire time. Simon Saint, Scarecrow working together to scare the populace without ever having to use gas. And the media has been their strongest weapon in doing all of this. And that has Miracle Molly and the Unsanity Collective currently very worried. Because the Unsanity Collective, they've been doing a lot of things around the city, a lot of theft and things of that nature, and they know that they are going to be the ones blamed for this. They are going to be taking the heat, and they are going to be coming down with everything they have on the Unsanity Collective. And so their immediate response is they need to start evacuating Gotham 2.0, their little makeshift cities that they've been creating in the abandoned, undeveloped Gotham buildings. Now, as Batman and Peacekeeper, they continue having their fight, the news is starting to break that the Magistrate is being put into operation. And Commissioner Montoya, she has big issues with this, feeling like the Magistrate is being given too much power very, very fast, much too quickly. But right now, the mayor, he is too scared. He's too scared of another gas attack. And even though the commissioner lets him know that there is no signs of any kind of imminent attack from Scarecrow or any kind of gas attack, the mayor just doesn't want to take that chance. Right now, he is in the public eye, and he feels like he has to act in some regard. And at the end of the day, he tells the commissioner, more or less, she needs to shut her mouth and do her job, and that he is going to do what he thinks is best. And he tells the media to start slowly leaking that he has activated the Magistrate program. And with Batman not having communication with Oracle this entire time, she's calling in everybody. She sends a SOS signal out to the entire Bat family, and the first one to respond is of course Nightwing, making his way to Gotham because he doesn't want to be in Bloodhaven if he's actually needed. And with Batman being out of communication for this entire time, Oracle can only assume the worst, especially with the city just going up in flames right now. And that's what will take us to the Magistrate sky base above Gotham City. Simon Saint creating kind of a Cloud City type situation, though it's only one building, flying about 5,000 feet up in the sky. And as Simon gets into the facility, he pulls up the vitals of Peacekeeper number 1, and he wants to know exactly how he's doing in this fight against Batman. And as it stands, it's sending back so much information, letting him know that he's at 86% efficiency right now, and that he has been going hand-to-hand combat with Batman for 18 minutes. But it goes even further than that, because as Peacekeeper number 1 is fighting him, it is slowly breaking down all of his weaknesses, all the weak spots in his armor, every little advantage that it can pick up on. It is learning every single step of the way. And Simon Saint, he sees this as a victory. Even if Peacekeeper number 1 fails here, on the first go around with Batman, Peacekeeper number 1 is able to hold himself for at least 18 minutes. And that really is a feat, no matter how you look at it. And this is where we're finally picking up with the fight between Peacekeeper number 1 and Batman. And at this point, Batman, he's trying his best to try to talk some sense into him, trying to tell him that this isn't the way to bring peace to the city. That right now, everybody, they're just terrified. Nobody actually feels protected or safer. Now, at this point, Peacekeeper Sean, he believes what we've seen a lot of individuals, a lot of villains of Batman believing, is that Batman, he's the one that opened up the door to all of this. That when he put on his mask, he opened up the door to all masked vigilantes and all masked villains. And Batman tries to tell him this Simon Saint is the one that bombed City Hall, but Peacekeeper number 1, he is the one that planted the bombs to begin with, because he is playing in his role. He is doing everything to the extreme, what he thinks needs to be done to be able to protect Gotham City. And he believes a Gotham City without Batman, without any mass vigilantes, is the correct path to go. He believes, under the rule of the Magistrate, that they will be able to bring some kind of peace and order to Gotham City, something that Batman has never truly been able to do. But when he blew up City Hall, he made sure no one was going to get hurt, because his intent isn't something crazy, homicidal. He doesn't want to kill a bunch of people. He just wants to shake folks up. He wants them to be scared. He wants them to be worried, so this Magistrate program can truly stick. Because at the end of the day, he feels like Batman hasn't been doing his job. He doesn't believe he had any intention of rounding up the Unsanity Collective. He's never arrested Catwoman. And now, people like Harley Quinn are working for him. People that are known thieves and murderers. And to this point, I think Peacekeeper number 1, he has a point. Yeah, at the end of the day, you're trying to rehabilitate someone like Harley Quinn, but when do these individuals have to answer for their crimes? Regardless of how much good you're trying to do or could do, even if you were freaking Superman, it seems like if you end up in Batman's good gracious, you get a get out of jail free card. And I can see why that would be such a problem, because you're giving a pass to individuals that definitely don't deserve it, regardless of their ability or their inability to rehabilitate. And we're seeing this fight go on, and Batman, he's really getting just rung through the ringer. He is getting beat up and down this place, trying his best to kind of hit and move, doing that Muhammad Ali, trying to sting like a bee, move like a butterfly. Now Batman is trying to figure out the end game, trying to figure out what Peacekeeper wants from this. And Peacekeeper, he doesn't want to unmask Batman. He doesn't want to show the world who he is. What he wants to do is kill Batman. To kill Batman, all of his friends, all of the villains, and bring peace to Gotham City. And so with Batman running all around the penthouse of the Saint building, he is doing his best to try to evade every single attack that Peacekeeper is throwing at him. And Peacekeeper, starts to get a little egotistical, starts to get a little bit cocky about this fight. But Batman is laying down some punches as well. I'm gonna say this is probably the hardest I have seen Batman fight in quite a long time. But of course, Batman has had a plan this entire time. With nowhere left to run, Peacekeeper, he really believes that he has Batman cornered, that he's going to be able to kill Batman this day. But the reason Batman has been running around this building, he's been planning charges all over the building. And these charges, they're sending up a signal, one that Ghostmaker is able to pick up on, because Batman is sending a Morse code message. And with the building on fire, Ghostmaker knows exactly what he needs to do. he goes and gets his ship in position, and we see Batman go jumping out of the building. Ghostmaker jumping out of his ship. We see the two of them collide into each other and a grappling hook go out. And after probably having a dislocated shoulder and being extremely roughed up, they land on a rooftop. And this is when Simon Saint, he tells Peacekeeper to stand down, that Batman will come another day, but there are much other things to take care of. There are other people that they're gonna have to handle. Right now, they need to go save Gotham City. They need Gotham City to see Peacekeeper in action, helping the people, bringing some kind of stability to everything going on, to bring the fight to the Unsanity Collective. And so inside Ghostmaker's ship, they are currently patching up Batman to the best of their ability, because Ghostmaker and Harley Quinn have been kind of attached to the hip. Ghostmaker more or less has been keeping an eye on Harley Quinn, keeping her out of trouble to the best of his ability. And as they're patching Batman up, this is when the news is letting us know that Peacekeeper number 1 is Sean Mahoney. And this name is important to Harley Quinn because she knows exactly who this individual is. Saying that he's a sadist, he's crazy abusive to everybody. And this has a long history dating all the way back to when she was a doctor at Arkham. And so she knows all too well exactly who this guy is, saying that he's pretty much a certified nut job in his own. But the issue with that is almost all of the records from Arkham, they were burned. So any kind of history that may exist on him, it is now gone and rewritten by Simon Saint. But Batman lets us know that he wants to bring him down as fast as possible. But they also need to make sure that they keep eyes on whatever happens with Scarecrow, because he still knows that they're working together. He doesn't know what Scarecrow is really getting out of all of this. But Oracle lets us know that the Magistrate and a ton of helicopters are making their way to the Unsanity Collective. And that is where we pick up with Miracle Molly. Sitting here with Squeak, they're trying to pack up the last of their things, trying to evacuate with everybody else. But they were too late. Peacekeeper and all of his men, they arrive, and Miracle Molly, she immediately surrenders, saying that we have no weapons, we mean no harm whatsoever, and we surrender ourselves willingly, saying that there is a kid here, that there is no reason to have any kind of violence. And this is when Peacekeeper, he radios in to Simon Saint and lets him know that in fact they are facing resistance, heavy resistance, and he is asking if they can use lethal force against these forces. And Simon Saint tells him to fire away. Now that will end this part of the story, and that is what will take us into Ghostmaker. And so far, Ghostmaker, he's been going through more or less an obstacle course by Madame Midas. She has been testing Ghostmaker to the fullest of his abilities, trying to see what he is honestly capable of. And she has brought together all of his arch nemesis in an effort to try to find any kind of flaw in his battle, in his combat, in anything that he does, any kind of way to give them the advantage in defeating him. But up to this point, nothing has worked. Even these highly sophisticated robots that she created, they are no match for him. It took her years just to develop the technology to be able to record him on a camera that could actually see him. Now this is when Instigator, quote unquote, because he's an alligator. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's funny. But Instigator, he tells her straight up, like, you need to stop. If you were smart at all, you would blow this entire island right freaking now, because there is absolutely no way that we are going to be able to defeat him. And he lets Madame Midas know that he was like her once. He believed that all of this power came from his suit, and that without his suit, he would be able to defeat him. That he used that suit as a crutch. And so what Instigator did is left a trail of bodies all over China for Ghostmaker to track down and for him to have a challenge. Now Ghostmaker, he met up with him, he caught up with him, and he agreed to this challenge. And right now Ghostmaker, he is extremely angry. Angry that Instigator had the ego to kill all of these people just to get a fight one-on-one, just to get this challenge and attention from Ghostmaker. And so Ghostmaker, taking off his suit, he says, let's do this, let's freaking fight. And as their fight begins, Instigator, he's at first initially disappointed. Disappointed that because he expected some trick, some immense amount of power to come from him, because Ghostmaker, while being able to defend himself, is dealing blows to Instigator, but they're not really doing any damage. They're not really hurting him. He's a freaking alligator at the end of the day. And he always expected some extravagant flash to happen in the middle of the battle, for Ghostmaker to pull some kind of trick up out of his sleeve. But he never did. He kept calm. He kept laying every single one of his blows. His facial expression never changed, not a single time. And this fight, it continued for hours, not showing a single sign of exhaustion. At first, Instigator, he didn't really feel anything, but over time, he started to feel the pain inflicted by him, because what Ghostmaker had been doing over the course of many hours is consistently hitting the same pressure points over and over and over again, slowly but surely cutting off blood flow until eventually Instigator loses consciousness. Because Ghostmaker, he knew he couldn't beat Instigator with pure strength, but with persistence, he was able to win over ego. He didn't need any tricks up his sleeves. And he tells Madame Midas that she has already made a mistake. By giving him a warning, by inviting him to this place, he has already had time to prepare. And that if she's going to continue to play this game with him, she is going to lose. Because it is a game he intends to win. And her best course of action is to kill him right now. And this is when Madame Midas, she tells the computer system to collapse all of the tunnels on top of Ghostmaker. And Ghostmaker, going through these tunnels, looking behind him, seeing like an Indiana Jones scene where everything behind him is just collapsing and he has to try to make his escape. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. As for the Batman part of this story, I am thoroughly enjoying it, because I really did want to know how Future State happened, how Gotham got into the Magistrate kind of way, how they were able to more or less push Batman to the side, and how the populace was okay with being taken over more or less by an army. And that's because they were driven to that state. With the help of Scarecrow, Simon Saint, they created a situation where all of Gotham City was more scared than ever before, and it was nothing more than their TVs doing it. But yeah, I have to say, the story is absolutely phenomenal. The writing, it's just so great. The artwork is phenomenal. I am absolutely loving all of the inks, all of the colors, all of the pencil work, everything that goes into creating Peacekeeper #1. I think they have done a phenomenal job. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.